review on the books I munched in May. In May, like most of the months this year, I managed to read 3 and 8-bit books. So of course I'm just going to do a review on the 3 that I've actually read, and the bit book is going to be a part of my June TBR. The first book I read has been the talk of the town. It was pretty thick. I thought it was going to take me forever to finish it. It did not. I read it like maybe a week to 10 days, which is fast for me for a book of this size. And that was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This book was such a fast-paced read. I loved every single minute of it. I loved the world. I loved the system, the magic system. I loved the magic. I loved the characters. I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I can't say that I felt it was better than other young adult books that I've read recently. You know, like Six of Crows is right up there with this in my opinion. And A Court of Thorns and Roses, of course, is right up there for me. It's right up there with this in my opinion. So I mean, it's a great book, definitely. I just didn't see what put it above the other YA books that I've read recently, except, of course, the location, the regions, the culture, and that stuff. So I feel like a lot of the hype and the next J.K. Rowling, next Harry Potter sort of vibe is coming from the uniqueness of the story, which is just fantastic. And of course, you know, there's like Orisha and like Nigerian culture, and of course it's like an entire black cast. So that's obviously very diverse and very new to the YA industry. So I think it's the what is the word? Precedent. I think it set a new precedent in young adult fiction, which is what the hype is about, because a book like this has never been done before. And the sequel sounds like it's going to be epic! The second book I read was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I gave this book a 3 to 3.5 stars. I enjoyed parts of it, like a lot, and I didn't enjoy parts of it. Not a lot, but I just didn't enjoy parts of it. I felt like it was extremely slow, so it's definitely a good book for those that enjoy slow burn romances and slow build-ups to the plot, and to be fair, it takes place over 30 years or more, so I feel like it was done intentionally so that you felt the passage of time, but it just wasn't my cup of tea in that regard. I did like the interactions with the characters when they interacted. Parts of it are captivating, particularly parts where it makes you the reader, like it's like you are going to go into the circus and you're going to go buy your ticket and you smell this and you do this. So those scenes were so evocative and so magical, and I do truly want to go to the night circus. The third and final book I read in May, I was actually pleasantly surprised with. I didn't have any specific expectations for it, but it's like an old story. It's one of those that I'm like, I'm gonna read one day and then didn't read, and you know, people said I would love it and I was like, oh, I'm sure I will, but you know, just never got around to it. So I read it now, and I actually was very pleasantly surprised, and that was The Alchemist by Michael Scott. I always want to say by Nicholas Flamel, but no, the series is called The Immortal Nicholas Flamel, who some of you might know from the Harry Potter series is, you know, the guy with the Philosopher's Stone who, you know, figures out eternal life. And basically, if you don't know, because my friend was also like, what, Nicholas Flamel? But he was invented by J.K. Rowling. How is he in this book that's, you know, written like 20 years before that? The thing is that Nicholas Flamel is sort of like Merlin. That was my best way to describe it. So he's not invented by J.K. Rowling. He's just someone that she used in her story, as Merlin gets used time and time again in different stories. So this person, Michael Scott, wrote a story about Nicholas Flamel, and basically, I'm not entirely sure of the whole series story, but from what I garnered, there are these twins called Sophie and Josh, and there's a prophecy that one of them can save the world and one of them can destroy the world, but they of course don't know it. It's one of those beautiful ones where they're magical and they don't know they're magical. And so Nicholas Flamel is guarding this magic book, and this, obviously a villain is after it. The villain is called Dr. John Dee, and he's after this book that can, like, I don't know, somehow end the world. So there's these people called the Elders, and he serves the Elders, but they're the bad guys. And basically the twins get caught up in it, because that is what the prophecy states will happen, but they're just ordinary boy and girl twins. And yeah, madness ensues, and they go on a whole epic adventure, but once they're tangled up in it, they can't get untangled, and they end up just getting deeper and deeper and deeper into it and discovering their powers, and yeah. And I gave The Alchemist a 4 out of 5 stars. Now there is another book called The Alchemist, which apparently I should read, but it's definitely not a fantasy. I can't remember the name of the guy that it's by. But yes, apparently that's another book that I should read, suggested by my friends, so I'm probably going to be reading another book called The Alchemist, but it's entirely very different to this Alchemist. And that is all for the books I munched this month. I did start a 4th book this month, but just like a couple of days ago, so I'm gonna add that to my June books to munch. So I'll tell you all about that in my next video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like all the other videos, then please consider subscribing. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!